Hey guys, and welcome to a battle between the heroic forces of the Empire and the evil and conniving forces of the Greenskins, led by Red Legion in charge of the Empire and my son HW in charge of the Greenskins. Should be a fun one, and we're on Golden Monolith, so let's get in here and check out the builds. So a nice cav contingent on the right hand flank here for the forces of the Empire, couple of units of Outriders sandwiching a unit of Pistoliers, and they're going to be protected by some Empire Knights, and it's always good to see one unit of cav, shot cav, heavy cav overall, protecting your skirmishers. They can do nice shock damage to opponents trying to come in and cut off your troops there. For a front line, it looks like we have swordsmen dotted all the way along, including the Sigma Sons, the most loyal of all the men in the Empire. These guys, of course, are unbreakable and do come in with a very cool colour scheme indeed. It looks like backing them up are a couple of units of spearmen as well, but in deep reserve here we have two great cannons. These guys, fantastic value for money, super long range and great damage, and they're going to be very loyally protected here by some spearmen, almost threatening them. You do not turn, you do not run, for we are here looking very menacing. But again, nice play, going to be protecting them against light cav and so forth, which the Greenskins do like to bring. We have some more Empire Knights as well in the centre pocket and on the left hand side. It looks like hidden in the forest here we do have an Amber Wizard, which is quite thematic overall, I suppose, hiding in the trees, and he is going to be bringing a Manticore summon, which is just such good value overall. For his lord, he does have Volkmar the Grim rolling on his wagon here, the most glorious of all the chosen of Sigma, as he cheers himself on there, fist pump in the air with that flaming hammer. But he does come with some pretty cool abilities overall. Grand Swordfire can do some huge damage. Grand Shield of Faith, that 22% damage resistance really does add up overall. Grand Hammer of Sigma plus a banishment, so rocking all his rock hard buffs there, which should be pretty damn useful. And I feel like he's a bit of an overlooked lord, because so many people do indeed enjoy Karl Franz and so forth. Now, for my son and the forces of the Greenskins, it looks like he's led by Azag, who is swirling round this obelisk right here, and he's going to be bringing just Spirit Leech and War. He has a couple of Goblin Wolf Chariots who will be able to do some decent cycle charging into the main line of the Empire, but they do not want to get engaged in long-range firepower up against the Pistoliers and Outriders. They will lose that rather heavily. Now, for our main line, looks like we have a very mixed forces overall. We have some regiment-renowned Night Goblins, Orc Biggins, Nasty Skulkers in the centre pocket, more Orc Biggins, and Savage Orcs. So a really mixed front line with some Trolls in there as well. Looks like my son trying out a few little different things all in one go. Protecting the flanks here, some Forest Goblin Spider Riders. Looks like the two units of those, any hidden in the trees, doesn't look like it. We have some Goblins in the back line and a Doom Diver Catapult, one of my favourite units in the game. Incredibly accurate artillery and can do a surprising amount of damage. Also very good at taking down Karl Franz and all those flying lords in general. He also has the Arachnarok Queen, regiment around Spider here. Going to have to duck for cover behind the monolith here to protect herself from the great cannons, but will do a great job at taking down Volkmar himself. So overall, super fun build. Looks like we have a Night Goblin Shaman in there as well with Vindictive Glare. And there is something dotted in the trees. I can see it on the minimap. It is some Forest Goblin Spider Riders lurking in the forest, which, it suits. So let's get this battle underway. Some early skirmishing going on, but you're going to see the Goblin Wolf Chariots get absolutely annihilated by Outrider fire here, and these guys definitely need to start falling back there. Lost about a third of their health straight off the gate, but they're not very expensive, so just some little poke from both sides so far. Looks like the Doom Dive Catapult. What is he targeting so far? Maybe it looks like he's going after Volkmar the Grim. Now, Doom Diver Catapult's very good at going over after Lords and Heroes, but I normally tend to do that only when I have 2 or 3 Doom Divers, as it will take a long time to pull down Volkmar, but at the same time, every little bit of damage does help. Speaking of damage though, great cannon starting to focus on Azek, but nice play so far by my son, duking back and forth between this monolith to try and get a little bit of protection, but he's taken a few shots there in the early stages as the forces of the Empire do decide to move up. They don't want to take any damage from this Doom Diver, and they keep pushing forward, which I think is probably the right move here. There's not too much which can pressure these great cannons. There's the Forest Goblin Spider Riders, who will be fended off by the Spearmen and Azag, and Azag's not going to want to make the long journey over here. It's going to be pretty hard to sneak up in this wide open plain. Looks like the fast shooting cav contingent is starting to move over to the left hand side now and wrap around. Still has some more Empire Knights over here for protection as the Legion of the Empire do start to advance, but the Greenskins will definitely crump the swordsmen, including the Sigma Sons and Spearmen, incredibly quickly unless Volkmar gets in there with some really key buffs at the right time. You can see Azag flying high up into the sky here, looking to swoop down upon his opponent, and in comes a big overload on this flank. So the Goblin Wolf Rider Chariot is going to be coming in here and just steamrolling the swordsman as much as possible as Azag comes in as well, swooping around viciously. as the war gets popped. And these poor swordsmen are going to get absolutely torn apart by Orc Biggins. But Volkmar, leading the Sigma Sons, his favourite here, are certainly going to do a good job on these Savage Orcs, who've already taken quite a large amount of damage. You can see Doom Diver catapults are flying in here, but Volkmar doesn't seem to care too much. Going to be starting to drop all his buffs, no doubt. The Great Cannons doing some fantastic work here on Azak, really starting to hunt him down. He is coming in though, and there's big Alpha Strike coming in with the Arachnarok Queen plus Azak the Slaughterer trying to goon out Volkmar, but he's a very tanky boy in general, and that constant cannon fire is shredding Azak the Slaughterer here, and Volkmar is just taking no damage. His Spirit Leech does go down on him, but he is incredibly healthy, and not so much can be said for Azak the Slaughterer, who is having to fall back and abandon the Arachnarok Queen as she tries going toe-to-toe. But I'm sure Volkmar going to be darting out of it soon. Grand Shield of Faith and Hammer of Sigma has been popped, but he certainly needs to retreat. And as expected, the Empire front line has crumbled very heavily here. Nice soul fire coming down, however. On the other flank, it looks like the Empire Knights have unfortunately been caught up by the Unbreakable Night Goblins, and these guys will do okay at tearing down the Knights over a long engaged combat. Apart from that, Pistoliers and Arrows, looks like they're trying to get forward to target down the Trolls, have had to fall back a little bit as the Greenskins push very aggressively through the front line before falling back once more. So they're trying to use this dip to their advantage, let the Doom Diver catapult get its value and hide their key targets away from the Great Cannon. The main problem here is Azag is of course flying, so he's pretty much always going to be visible. He has popped into the back lines here, attempting to save these Forest Goblin Spider Riders and so forth from these Empire Knights who were marauding down this left flank, looking for an opportunity to get on the Doom Diver catapult, but there is no escape for you boys, I'm afraid, as some Forest Goblin Spider Riders do pin them in. I feel like these Empire Knights probably a little bit doomed here if Azag and the Spider can hustle over here quite quickly. As for the main line, looks like the Empire have fallen back and once again rallied, some of the reserve spearmen being sent forward who were protecting the Great Cannons, probably expecting there's not too much of a threat anymore. Fast mobile units coming in from the Greenskins. Well, the first Manticore, someone that has gone down, and it looks like it's targeting down Goblin Wolf Chariots, which, you know, isn't a bad pick. He can destroy them relatively effectively. I would certainly save the last Manticore summon for the late game, just in case Azag is swooping in for a late game engagement. You can fence him off with Manticore or entice him in and finish him off, as these guys do pretty decent damage overall. Volkmar the Grim incredibly healthy here, and to be honest, the Doom Diver Catapult's done pretty much no damage to him, unfortunately, even though it's been firing at him all game. Trolls have been forced back as well, but they're only terrified, so they should come back to the main engagement. Over on the far side as well, though, nice micromanagement and awareness by H1 Sun, trapping in these Empire Knights and slowly dragging them down, trying to make Red Legion pay for every Greenskin death. As like incredibly beat up here though, 587 health, and it looks like he's another cannon, but whizzes by there incredibly close. The Ferromanticore could pop over here and at least put pressure on him, but Azag is incredibly fast. Volkmar being a rock-hard legion for Sigma here, coming in and slaughtering Trolls left, right and centre as they do start to rout, as the Ferromanticore also hops on top of the Doom Diver catapult, and this is looking very shaky for the Greenskins as Azak the Slaughterer takes another cannonball to the face and is fleeing to the edge of the map here. So he does have 262 health, but you know, it's possible. Okay, perfect time there. I was about to say it's possible he could come back, but takes a cannon up the rear end, unfortunately, and does fall to his death. And with that, it's going to be a huge struggle. The Arachnarok Queen and the Goblin Shaman trying to hold this Orc War together as much as possible. Looks like Spearmen on their flank are being terrified slightly here, and the Spider can certainly do some decent damage up against Volkmar. But in comes some Empire Knights charging gloriously in to protect their Liege Lord and running over poor little nasty Skulkers who are going to be running for the hills. They are, of course, Goblins at the end of the day, and don't have the greatest leadership. Now, this fast-moving core of the Pistoliers and Arrows have been protected very, very well so far by the Empire, and they're going to have free reign now to pop on the Arachnarok Queen and finish her off. And the cannons have been allowed to fire all game, getting fantastic value, even though really nice play by Sun H1, hiding down in this dip and, you know, trying to save his units as much as possible. Nice play early on, but eventually Azag has to come out and took too much damage. Volkmar hunting down that Arachnarok Queen is rather funny here, as he does roll in. Poor little Night Goblin Shaman trying to run. Leg it, lads. But Volkmar the Grim, oh, looks like he's just tickling for now. I'm expecting this Night Goblin Shaman to go flying any second now, but nope, he is in fact just going to be terrified and routed. To be honest, I'd be terrified if I've been shoved along by Volkmar like that. Looks like army losses is just about to set in as the Arachnarok Queen takes one too many cannon shots and does start to flee. And there's simply no way for the Greenskins to get back in this. They have a few units returning to the fray, Orc Biggins and some regiment round Night Goblins. There's also a few Spider Riders, but it is unfortunately game over. So a Pyrrhic victory, well played to both of these combatants. So massive shout out to Red Legion for sending this in, and a really fun game overall, so well played to both of these guys. Really fun builds, and unfortunately I think the Doom Diver Catapult, if he had a couple of them, he could have put some real pressure on Volkmar, but as you can see, very little damage done to him overall. Attempted to play the defensive game, and managed to smash the Empire forces relatively early on, but I think the Greenskins, they needed to get a little bit aggressive there and try and shut down those great cannons. They're allowed to fight all game, and they took down the key targets. But I understand as well, trying to use the map to his advantage there and hide down low in the little dip. But yeah, overall, really good to see Volkmar in play. Manticore Summons are very effective as always, and the Great Cannons, allowed to shoot all game, really racked up that value. So, if you don't know guys, my son is in fact a streamer and does have a Twitch account, so I will try and remember to put a link down in the description, and I've got a feeling Red Legion also might be a YouTuber, so I'm going to double check that, and if he is, I'll put a link to his channel down below as well. Can't say for sure, but I've got a feeling I've seen him advertised somewhere. But I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, please do consider giving the video a big old thumbs up and subscribe for more Total War Warhammer content. If you want to see replays on the channel, feel free to join my Discord, link just down below, and all that good stuff. So anyway guys, until next time, peace, and as always, stay awesome.